how do you think cannabis has evolved from just being used in traditional medicine or being used as a recreation to times that we are seeing now in the cannabis space?
In the past, before cannabis was forbidden, about 100 years back, maybe a bit longer, cannabis was widely used as medicine worldwide. I think the first practices of cannabis being used as a medicine are more than 2,000 years ago in China. And also in the Western world, they used cannabis for headaches, for inflammatory diseases, for just lots of illnesses it was used. But then after a while, they made it illegal. The reasons because they did it are a bit suspicious, because some people said it was done by the medicine lobby. Some people said it was done by other things because cannabis is really a bad thing. But then it became illegal. And then cannabis was only used for recreational purposes. I think mainly during the 60s and 70s, there came a movement wherein people smoked cannabis to just feel freely, to just relax. But from that, also people started learning again that cannabis can be used as a medicine. A lot of people having anxiety or whatnot, they really have beneficial effects from cannabis. In the Netherlands, it has been medicinally legal for a couple decades, but the first professional growth came from Bedrocan, which is the first medicinal cannabis company founded in 2003, producing cannabis for the Dutch patients. Before that, they had to buy cannabis from illegal stores. You can get a refund from, well, the stores were actually legal, but they had to buy in the product illegally. You can get a refund from the insurance, but since 2003, they really supply the cannabis via the pharmacies. And that was quite long. It was only the Netherlands doing that. After that, Canada also started a medicinal cannabis program. Germany also did a medicinal cannabis program, but Germany only imported the cannabis from the Netherlands. And now you see it really worldwide, country after country, legalizing the medicinal part. And about the recreational part, first, it is somewhat legal in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, they have quite a strange policy wherein you have dispensaries. In the Netherlands, we call them coffee shops, which can legally sell cannabis, but they cannot legally buy cannabis.
Oh, wow.
Meaning that they have to buy everything via the back door. They have lots of illegal farms in the Netherlands. About every week in the news, you will see some police officers being proud that they found another illegal farm, but the product has to come from somewhere. So now they're doing an experiment in the Netherlands where they will be building 10 farms, and the first 2 or 3 of those farms will be supplying to the market from half December. And they supply in 1/6 of the coffee shops or dispensaries, which is about 120 dispensaries throughout Netherlands. Wherein they will supply illegal products as an experiment. And we all believe that the experiment will succeed, because if you grow it legally, then well, tax will be paid, so the government will profit from it. You can have a controlled crop. So if you buy cannabis in the coffee shops now, there's lots of pesticides on it. There's lead in it and lots of things that are bad for you. And about legalization worldwide, it really get a boost when they legalize it in the States. I don't really, the way they legalize it in the States, it's still federally illegal. So you cannot move the product from state to state. If I travel from the Netherlands to, for example, I traveled from the Netherlands to Arizona, and the airport is still federal. It's a federal territory. So if I come at the airport and they see my business card, cannabisdrying.com, I can get in some troubles. So they can even send me back to the Netherlands. But the moment I walk out of the airport, I'm allowed to smoke a joint on the streets. So the legislation in the States is really weird. But I think in about half of the states, they have medicinally legalized it. And about a quarter, they also have a recreational program. Now they're also starting some recreational experiments in Switzerland, in Swiss, and one in the Czech Republic. And everybody is looking right now at Germany. In Europe, everybody always looks a bit at Germany. Germany always gives the example. But in Thailand, they went from it's an illegal product, you go a long time in it for jail. 1 day later, you can buy it on every corner of the street. I don't believe that's the best policy as well, but they're at least doing something.
Thank you for sharing, Nick, such a wide perspective on different demographies and how the business is evolving and the usage of cannabis recreationally and medicinally in different parts of Europe. You speak about these experiments in the Netherlands, in Switzerland, and you said Czech Republic would follow. What are other countries that have had history with cannabis and you think are going to be in the EU and will be legalizing soon and follow the footsteps of Germany and Switzerland?
There are quite some free countries in Europe. One of them, for instance, is Portugal. In Portugal, they have decriminalized all drug use, I believe already for like 20 years. So you are allowed to use the drugs or substances, but you're not allowed to produce it yet. They do have lots of medicinal farms in Portugal, but we all hope that the recreational farms will follow. Another country that is quite freely with it is Malta. In Malta, you have also dispensaries. They don't have legal recreational farms yet, but Malta is also quite a progressive country. And maybe they will do something in Macedonia. In North Macedonia, they have quite a couple of medicinal farms, but it's still quite illegal there now. But to boost tourism, they are talking about maybe getting recreational legalized as well. Denmark is quite free as well. They also have quite a lot of medicinal farms there, and we hope recreational will follow. In Uruguay, you can legally grow, I believe, up to 5 or 10 plants at home. They don't have big farms yet, but it is legal. And also in Colombia, they're producing quite a lot medicinal, and maybe they will do it recreational as well.
Thank you so much for sharing. I think that gives the viewers a little bit of lay of the land on the legalization of cannabis policy across the globe.